Hello, welcome to the Friday morning show. It's Friday. That means it's a good day because we get to hang out together. We're gonna have a party on the Friday morning show. Check it out. Look what I had made by the incredible graphic designer Vanessa Ooms. I know a lot of you know her. These are so pretty. They're so beautiful. If by any chance you have an incredible yoga studio that you go to or a cafe that you love to frequent and you think that a few of these just kind of placed in the cafe or the yoga studio would be a great idea, let me know. I'll mail you a couple. It's just a little pamphlet outlining some of the programs that I offer, the Empowered Woman Conference, and some other goodies on the back as well. So let me know if you want some of those to hand out somewhere. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that it's Friday. It is a good day. Yay! Today we are talking about creating healthy boundaries because I've had quite a few individuals in private message this past week talking about this concept, and I want to give you what I got. I want to give you some tips right now to really start creating healthy boundaries for yourself personally and for everybody else in your life so they learn what is important to you and what you are committed to. Okay? It's very important. So, first things first, you know how it goes. Let me know. Are you tuning in from home? Are you tuning in from work? What community are you tuning in from? Go ahead and comment in and share with me how you're feeling today. What's on your heart? How does your heart feel in this moment? And those of you watching the replay, hashtag replay, let me know that you're watching. Tag me in your comments so I can come back, hang out with you while you go through the whole show at a later time because, let's face it, sometimes we're not all available at the same time. So go ahead and comment in. There's something kind of funky happening with my technology at the moment. Everything is sort of wonky. I don't know what's... can you see me? Can you hear me? Someone let me know. Before we dive in, I'm going to check on my laptop, make sure, because it's saying funky things for me. Let's see what we got going on here. Technology, what you got for me? What you got for me today, technology? So today is Friday. And it's a very exciting day for me because I'm heading to two different communities. I'm heading to Williams Lake to go to the optometrist to get my eyes checked. I think it might be time for glasses. And then I'm heading to Sun Peaks for the May Cause Radiance AGM, which is so exciting and I cannot wait for it. It's going to be incredible. So a lot of driving for me, definitely, but all very good things. Oh, it looks like maybe I'm sideways. Am I sideways for you? Oh, the comments are good morning. On the couch, can hear you. Thanks, Roberta. Emma says, morning, skip my beast workout. Cool down to join in. Aw, Emma, I'm so happy you're here. You are sideways, but I can see and hear you. I don't know why I'm sideways. And I don't know if I can change it, so we're just going to flow with it, okay? Yeah? Let's see. Can I do... No, I don't know how to do that. Okay, cool. Well, you just hang out like this. I'll hang out like this, and we'll have a party. Okay. So today we are talking about creating healthy boundaries. Now, some of you may be wondering, like, well, what does that mean? What do you mean creating healthy boundaries? This is an integral component of living as an empowered woman because if you do not have healthy boundaries, then you are going to allow your partner, your children, all of your friends, your colleagues, everyone else to dictate the choices that you make for yourself. And Emma, especially as you, I know, have created this routine for yourself of working out every day, you probably have noticed that you have to create boundaries around non-negotiables and negotiables for yourself. You know, sometimes I'm willing to skip a workout in the morning if it's because of this reason. Or sometimes, or never am I ever willing to skip that morning workout because this is my commitment. This is what creating those healthy boundaries are all about, okay? Hi, Brittany. Hugs and love to you too. We're doing a Sideways Friday because it's a Sideways Friday. So this past week, some of the conversations I've had have been about how do I say no to that social engagement that I said yes to? I don't want to go to dinner. I don't want to hang out with those people. I don't want to be a part of that, but I feel like a bad person if I say no. For me in the past, there's been things like, I want to go be social, but I don't want to drink any alcohol. And I've told you guys about this before, but I don't want to be in that environment where people are constantly asking me, oh, do you want a drink? Do you want a glass of wine? Do you want this? Do you want that? And I constantly have to like say no, and it doesn't feel good. So creating healthy boundaries is about finding what's important to you right now, what you're working on embodying into and committing to, and finding ways within yourself that you can say yes or no to external influences in a way that serves you and what you desire. So ultimately, creating healthy boundaries is about you getting clear with what you need so that everybody else in your life understands how to work with you. For those of you who were in the conscious relationships training that I did a few months back, you'll remember the concept of kind of like teaching or prepping your partner to get set up for success to love you. This is the same concept. It's about helping those in your life know how to support and love you. And for those who are not ready or willing to do that, that's okay. Sometimes we just kind of dissipate and create a little bit of distance, and that's fine, okay? So, oh, hi, Debbie Lynn. Lovely to see you here. Hi, beautiful to you too. And Devin, I see that you joined us. Thanks for being here, my darling. Oh, it's so good to see you ladies here. Yay. Before I dive into our 3 tips, I want each of you to comment in with an emoji that expresses how you feel in this moment. What emoji expresses how you feel in this moment? You guys watching the replay too, go ahead and comment in right meow. I want to see what emoji represents how you feel. And while those are flowing in, just a gentle reminder, today is Friday, tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow, Saturday, February 1st at midnight is your last chance to join the Empowered Woman series, the most incredible program. Oh, it is so much fun. 6 weeks of this, every single week learning new principles, 6 different foundational principles for you to empower yourself as a woman who cares about her own needs, her own desires, who she is, and allow you to be in a community of 40 plus incredible, amazing women doing the exact same journey. So let me know if you want some more details about that. Okay. Emma, I read something this week about what we tolerate teaches others how we want to be treated. Yes, Emma, that is exactly correct. I'm going to expand on that in a moment. Roberta's feeling sick. Oh, I'm sorry, Roberta. Emma's feeling strong. Debbie's feeling, tired. It's a bit of coffee. Okay, so let's dive into that. So Emma, I read something this week about what we tolerate teaches others about how we want to be treated. Yes. So when things occur in your life, when people treat you badly, they're not nice to you, they don't do the things that you want them to do, you're constantly nagging for them to do things and they don't do it, all these types of things, it's because you've created a pattern for them to treat you this way. It's all based on us. Remember how I've told you before that you are the common denominator of your life? Everything that occurs in your life is a reflection of what's happening inside of you. So when we build relationships with people, especially long-standing relationships, subconsciously, both of our energies and our minds are working together to create a pattern of how we interact with each other. That's why, if you listen to my podcast this past week, it's what is called Setbacks Aren't Bad or something like that. I think that's the title. It's all about how when we expand ourselves into this empowered woman, into an awakened woman, into a conscious woman, we tend to have some backlash from our external environment and from inside of us because we've created these patterns over years and decades of building them. And when we start going up against them, it's like pushing up against these energetic walls. And our family and our psyche and everything is like, what are you doing? Just because it's unfamiliar. But once you expand past that, that's where that beautiful bliss lives. That's where you get to embody into that new aspect. So, tip number 1 on creating healthy boundaries around that concept that Emma just brought up. You have to understand what is the boundary that you're creating and why are you doing so. So, for example, let's just say that you've made a commitment for the new year that you are going to exercise 3 times a week, okay? We're just going to keep it real simple. You're exercising 3 times a week. And let's say for you that involves going to a yoga class or a fitness class of some sort. 3 times a week, you're committed to going to this class. There are going to be moments where your friends, your partner, your colleagues, whoever it is, are going to invite you out for drinks. They're going to invite you over for dinner. They're going to make comments of, why don't you just skip this week? It's fine. You can do it next week. There's going to be classes that are canceled. All of these things are going to occur. In all of these moments, it's your opportunity to really stand strong in your boundary, that this is a priority for you. So when you're invited for drinks, when you're invited for dinner, you say no. And it's not rude. It is not rude to choose what is important to you. You say, thank you, but I have a commitment for tonight. You don't have to tell them what it is. You say that you've created a commitment or that you have something else that you're doing, or tonight is just not the right night. And that's okay. As women, so many of us believe that if we say no to anybody ever, we are a terrible person and we will no longer have friends or be loved. That's not true. I have plenty of people in my life who I love deeply and dearly, who tell me no regularly. And yes, sometimes I'm like, man, like I really want to see them. But I respect and honor the boundaries that they're creating for themselves. They are choosing to put themselves first. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Someone could see you every single day, but see you not taking care of yourself. Or you could take care of yourself and they could see you maybe once a week or once every couple weeks. And when they see you, you're at the top of your game. You feel incredible. You're so connected. You're ready to be present. Isn't that quality of time together more valuable than the quantity of time? And the only way that that happens is by you committing to you. Okay? Does that make sense? Debbie, oh my God, so true. I want your RMS. My muscle, you want my muscles? Oh yeah, that's belly fit, baby. Okay, so tip number 1 is, what is the boundary you're creating and why? So I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, in the way that I'm describing this now, what's a boundary that you've either recently created for yourself or you know that you need to? What is a boundary in your life that you know you need to create? This can even be for some people if you have family members who call you every single day and then get annoyed if you don't answer or you don't get an opportunity to connect with each other and it makes you feel guilty. You can create a boundary around that. You can create a new way of being with that family member where that's no longer the norm, where they wait for you to call or where they don't make you feel guilty anymore. Do you see what I mean? There's ways that we can play with these boundaries, and the whole intention of it is to alleviate stress from you so that you can allow your light to shine and feel strong and powerful in who you are. So when you do spend time with those other people or when you do make your commitments to yourself, you're wholeheartedly, fully present and there. Yeah? Okay. So can you think of any specific boundaries that you need to create? If I know what's going on for you in your personal life, it can make these tips that I'm going to share a little bit easier for you to digest. So go ahead and comment in, you guys watching the replay too, comment in what is a boundary that you need to create or that you've already created that we can work with here, okay? Debbie, you read my mind. Ooh, we're connected, Debbie. I like this. And Giselle, hi Giselle, I saw that you joined us. Wonderful. Well, while those are coming in, I'll just continue on with this for a moment. So what boundary are you creating and why? So for that example of you committing to working out 3 times a week and going to classes, the boundary you're creating is that you are committed to that over and above everything else. So that means when you're invited to anything, when you're asked to volunteer for something for your kids for school, if it lands on a Tuesday and those are days you go to class, you say no. You don't owe anything to anybody. If anything, how many years have you spent downgrading who you are and speaking terrible things in your own mind? If anything, you owe everything to yourself. You owe this time to yourself. You owe this love to yourself. You owe this commitment to yourself. So really acknowledge and notice, what boundary are you creating and why? Okay? Tip number 2. Now, I've already alluded to this, but I'm going to say it point blank for you. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is selfless. Because the more you care about yourself, the more energy and time and love and nourishment and acknowledgement you pour into yourself, the more space you have for others, the more compassion you have for others, the more patience you have for others, the more love and time and acknowledgement you have for others. If you are not committing to yourself, if you are not caring for yourself, you become depleted. Hands up if you've been there before. Have you ever felt depleted because you've been doing too much for other people? Chances are you could do this emoji. Because we've all done it. We've all been there. When we allow ourselves to get depleted, we ain't helping nobody. If anything, we're pulling back resources into ourselves just to try to keep ourselves going. And it's a perpetual cycle that leads to burnout and breakdown. Self-care is selfless. The more you care for yourself, the more you dedicate to yourself, the more you create these healthy boundaries for you to be who you need to be, the more other people get the best version of you. And that's truly what they deserve. And that's what you deserve. I know you don't like snapping on your partner or snapping on your kids or snapping on your colleagues. I know you don't like waking up tired and exhausted. I know you don't like looking at yourself in the mirror and feeling uncomfortable with what you see. I know you don't like that. None of us do. But the reason that's there is because we're not willing to create these healthy boundaries. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how important this is? Sorry, I'm sideways. This is quite entertaining. Debbie, I do, and thank you. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Emma, being fully present when I'm having conversations with my husband, being interested in him at that moment. Yes, so that is a huge one because a lot of us are frustrated when either our partners or our friends or whoever it might be don't pay attention to us when we want to share. But if you really take note, oftentimes that's occurring because when they want to share, we're not present. Or because we don't give them the space for them to share themselves. Remember how I said that everything that's happening out there is because it's also occurring in here in some way? We are creating our reality in every single moment, every choice we make, every thought we have. And this is one step towards doing so more consciously. So Emma, that's a beautiful boundary that you're creating. I love that. And so that within itself, you can also ask your husband to trigger you in a positive way. So one thing that Luke and I have done is we often are on our phones in the evening, and when one of us wants to talk, we'll be on our phones, and the other one says, hey, so da 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 da, and then they'll pause because, let's say Luke says that to me and I'm doing this. I'm just, finishing a Facebook post in the Empowered Woman Collective, obviously, and I'm just doing this, and he says something, and he'll pause, and I can hear that he spoke and then didn't say anything, and now there's silence, so I know I'm doing this, but I know he's looking at me, so I pause, I look, I put my phone down, and then we connect. We used to just blah, 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 blabber stuff at each other on our phones, and neither of us were actually fully soaking anything in. So this was the two of us as a partnership, creating a healthy boundary together, okay? And this is what happens in our relationships when we start building these boundaries from within. Now with a partner, sometimes they're open to this, sometimes they're not. So it's really about starting with internally, what are you truly committed to for yourself, okay? Roberta put a hand up. Yeah, that means that Roberta, like I'm sure everybody else watching, has been overwhelmed from doing too much for others. Emma, you see me so clearly. I see you. Roberta, every night me and my husband are taking time at bedtime to talk together about things without our kids listening. Oh, that's so beautiful. And do you notice how good that feels? How it really creates a deeper partnership and you're a team together instead of you have to do this and pick the kids up from here and we need more milk and whatever else comes up. It creates that sense of partnership, which when you make that a priority, when you commit to something that fills your heart and makes you feel so good, you become a better person because of it. That's why self-care is selfless. It actually allows you to be more present for others. It's so good. Debbie says, feeling less guilty when I say no to anyone. I'm a caregiver to 4 grandkids and my sister calls all the time for me to help with my mom. I'm only one person and I struggle with saying no. Yes. Now, everybody else listening, can you relate to the concept of struggling with saying no? This is one of the primary foundational underlying beliefs that all the women that I work with in coaching capacity, this is what a lot of us believe. Is that when I say no, I'm a bad person. When I say no, no one will love me. When I say no, I'm not trustworthy. When I say no, I'm selfish. When all of these things. These are the beliefs that are playing, in the background. Might not be forefront, but it's in the background. And it's dictating the choices that we make. Yes, other people need our support. Yes, it is valuable and incredible to be a caregiver and to share your love and share your time. Yes. I absolutely want you to know that I believe that, and I'm not telling you to not care for others. What I'm saying is you have to create a balance within it all. And that could even look like grabbing a journal and writing out all the things that you do, all the people that you do things for, all the things that feel like they land on your shoulders. Write it all out. And then take a look at all those things and ask yourself, how can I create more balance here? Instead of me running to 5 different stores to pick up all of those things for that person who can't do it on their own, is there someone else that I could get to do that? Do I have a teenager that could go and do that after school and I give them $10 for it or $50 or I don't know what kids get these days. But is there someone else that could do that? Do I have a friend who I know has lots of extra time in their life right now and they could go and grab me lunch while I'm taking care of somebody else? Is there a way that I could create the way that you say no can be of so much love and compassion to the other person? I really want to support, but I can't right now. I'm not feeling well. Or I really need this time for myself. Think about this. When you're sick, when you're literally sick with the flu or the cold and you're at home and you're in your pajamas and you can't move, nobody expects you to do things because you're physically unwell. What if you could create the same boundary of being physically unwell without being physically unwell? so that you don't have to get physically sick for people to believe you when you say no, for people to actually hear you say no. Let yourself create boundaries that nourish and honor who you are, because it will be of so much more service to everybody else. Self-care is selfless. The more time you put into your own self, the more energy, support, love, and acceptance and everything you have for everybody else. Okay? Drop an emoji if you're here with me. If you're like, yep, this is making sense. I like it. I'm going to do it. This is great. Put down an emoji. Any emoji. Maybe the hands up. Maybe dancing girl, just because she's my favorite. Dancing girl. Okay. Got my crusty little paper here. So, our first boundary, or our first tip is, what boundary are you creating and why? Now, at any given time, I usually have like 2 or 3 boundaries that I'm creating in my life. And this is usually connected to different beliefs that I have. So one thing that I do, that I teach to a lot of my clients, is when you have some sort of anxiety or trigger or fear pop up, what is the belief behind that? And whatever that belief is usually negative. What's the opposite? So creating a new belief for myself. This is a little bit deeper than what we've been talking about here. This is more of what I do in actual coaching capacity. So anyways, I create a new belief, and then I create a boundary around that belief. I do something or make some sort of commitment so that I embody that new belief. Because you don't just like think it and suddenly it's true. You create a boundary around it so you live within the embodiment of it. Anyways, that's for another time when we're in a coaching program together. Yes, Roberta, we've got a dancing man. I like that little disco. Debbie's got some dancing girl. Have you had some coffee now, Debbie? You've got 7 dancing girls. I like it. Okay, so tip number 1 was, what boundary are you creating and why? Very important for you to understand this, otherwise you won't stay committed to it. Number 2, self-care is selfless. The more you care about yourself, the more you create boundaries for yourself, the more you can be of service to others, okay? This is the art of saying no. This is the practicing of saying no and not feeling guilty about it. That guilt comes from within, okay? Number 3, you gotta commit. If you create a boundary and you have a conversation with your partner or with your friends and you say, look, I'm committed to going to these workout classes. If you invite me for dinner, I'm gonna say no. This is just how it is, okay? This is my boundary. And then they invite you for dinner and you say yes. Even though it was a night you had a workout, you were no longer committed to your own boundary. It's not their fault because they invited you. It's your fault. Fault is a negative word, but it's your responsibility to care for yourself and your own commitments. So I need you to stay committed to these boundaries you create, because this is building new relationship patterns with the people in your life. If you have children, chances are you've had this experience of you tell your kids no, and then they push back. And you know that even if you don't care anymore about the actual outcome, because you said no, you have to stick to that no, because otherwise they're going to walk all over you. And next time they know if they push just a little bit longer, you'll cave. Yeah? Any moms there that can get this, that understand? This is the same concept with your own subconscious. If you get pushed and pushed and pushed and then you cave, then your subconscious knows, cool, okay, so we'll just keep creating situations where it pushes just to that extent and then you'll cave. And I'll get to stay in my cozy, happy place where I have self-loathing and discomfort in my body and I say yes to everybody and I don't care about myself because this is comfortable and familiar. We don't want that. That's not empowered. That's not expansion. That's not conscious. That's just doing everyday things. That's being who you've been for so long, which has been causing some friction internally. Yeah? Debbie. Oh, Roberta says, oh my God, yes. Debbie, yikes, there is that word. And laughter, and glamas. Yeah, glamas are the best. So, when you're creating healthy boundaries, number 1, what is the boundary and why is it so important to you? What makes a difference in your life when you have that boundary there? Okay. Number 2, self-care is selfless. It's important for you to commit to yourself and feel confident in your ability to say no and not feel guilty. And number 3, whatever commitment you make, stick to it. Be willing to care about yourself enough to stick to the commitments that you make, to stick to the boundaries that you build. Yeah? Because it's showing personal resiliency. It shows that you care about who you are. It shows that you are willing to show up for yourself. And that is what is most important. So those are your 3 tips for today. If you have any questions, if you want to dive deeper, let me know. Send me a message. If you want to come back to this video when you have a specific boundary in mind that you're creating, come back and comment it in so that I can come and share some thoughts or some tips around that idea too. And if you're not already in the Empowered Woman series, get your booty over there. What are you waiting for? It is such a good time. The women are incredible. The trainings are transformational. You get lifetime access. It's under $300. It's a no-brainer. Come join us, okay? If you have any questions, if you want to know more about the Empowered Woman series, send me a message ASAP, because the enrollment closes tomorrow night at midnight. Today, like I said earlier, I'm going to be driving this way and that way, so I might not get back to your messages right away, but I'll do my best. I love you. I send you so much love. Have fun creating your boundaries, and I will see you soon. Bye.